So it's like 90 degrees out. And wouldn't you know, that's the time when my air conditioner stops working. Now I checked my high and my low pressure valves with the gauge set from Harbor Freight. About 100 pounds with the truck off. Whenever I turn it on, I forget what they went to, but it just showed that I had Freon in it. Usually whenever you're lack of Freon, you stop. But what you can do, I tried, if I get it to work later I'll show you, use my power probe. You go AC compressor relay, and at least on the Silverado, if I can get this stupid thing out. Only when I'm filming does this stuff happen. Hang on. Hang on. But you can do it with a jumper wire too. But on the silver wire, this right here is your AC relay. Right here. See that? And this is your AC fuse. My fuse is pulled because it kept blowing them after a while. Didn't blow them right away. But this is your control circuit. You have 12 volts positive here and here. Okay, so two parts. The thing you're missing is your ground over here. This is your control circuit. So on a relay you have, I think it's, let me look, 86, 85, 87, and 30. So this would be your 86 and your 85. This is your control circuit. Whenever this circuit is completed, it sends an electromagnet across. It sends power from here to here. So you can actually do this with a jumper wire. With the truck on, to check your AC clutch, you jumper a wire from here to here. Just touch it. You should hear it click. I never heard mine click. And I was blowing fuses. So I crawled up underneath, took my skid plate off, and let's see if I can show you underneath the truck. Right, I got it kind of disconnected and hanging there. Right there, that's your compressor, and that's your idler pulley. You disconnect that wire, and with my power probe, because I have one, I tried sending power to it directly, and it shorted out the power probe. You know, it's got a fuse in it. So that tells me that that clutch is grounded. It doesn't say that the compressor itself is bad, just that clutch right there is no good. The compressor is good, it still pumps AC. What I have been noticing before, sometimes it will work and sometimes air conditioning works, sometimes it wouldn't. I pushed a button in a couple times and it would sometimes work. And whenever it wasn't working, I crawled underneath here, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's a sticker on this side, and I'd watch the sticker. Whenever the AC wasn't working, that sticker wasn't engaged. So I knew I had a compressor problem. So what you can do from the underside is take and put a 3/8 socket on that pulley, pull it down, pull the belt off. I haven't done that yet, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now I watched a lot of videos on this, and there was one guy who did his, zoom out, on a Silverado similar to mine. It was actually white too. He took a whole bunch of stuff off up here. I'm going to say don't do that, because what I found, and I didn't watch this video completely, so maybe he did finally figure it out, is you take the plastic fender well lining out. It's got a bunch of, try to find one. Sorry for the shoddy camera work, but I hadn't really planned on filming this. It's got a bunch of these compressed clips in. This one's kind of damaged because, you know, I've done headers, you know what I mean? So these fender wells have been in and out a couple times. But anyway, all you do is you pop this center thing out, and then the whole thing pops out, and you got two kind of what they call them, Christmas tree clips on this wire. You take those out and the whole fender well comes out. But then right there it is. And I've already taken it's like a 10mm bolt that holds the first part of the clutch out, and then kind of got a pry bar in there, and I'm working it out, you know, like such. Like this, and, you know, I'll spin it around and I'll work it some more. But we'll get that popped off, and then there should be a couple snap rings underneath and so on and so forth. And as I figure stuff out, I'll show you what I'm doing. But I haven't done none of these before, so you know, we'll figure it out, I guess. Okay, I need both my hands now to pop that sucker off. You know, there's something to be said about reading the directions, and one of them is remove bolt, remove washer, remove hub armature by hand. Clutch has an 8mm threaded hole to use as a jack screw for removal. Well, I didn't see it, and I pried it off, which I did do. It took 2 pry bars and a little bit of patience, going back and forth. But yeah, the reason I couldn't see the hole, the threaded hole, is I can't know if I can tell you. Yeah, that's threaded. So there's a bolt here going through the hole to hold it onto the shaft, but whenever you take that bolt out, you can screw a larger bolt into the threaded hole to push this off. Should have done that. I don't know if I caused any damage. Don't think I did. It took a lot of penetrant too. I sprayed a lot of penetrant in there to get this up, but I'm not reusing any of this. The only thing I'm worried about is if I might have ruined the seal in the shaft, which I don't think I did. Well, let's put it this way. Even if I did, too late now. But anyways, so we're going to go into moving the snap ring, which I can feel. I don't know. Let me get on the ground and I'll see if I can see it. If I can see it, we'll do it from underneath. But maybe. Stupid. Never did like these lights. They're like just good enough to be adequate, but for most things they just kind of suck. And now it shines in my face instead of where I want it to. Let's move it over here. Sorry about all this. Like I said, I didn't really plan this, but right there it is. Yeah, I can see the snap ring. Oop. See the snap ring right there. So let's see if I can get a pair of pliers in there. Pop that snap ring out. Now while I'm down here, I'll take this belt off real quick. Oop, I should zoom back out. Sorry. Take the belt off real quick. Only have to take it off the clutch. You don't have to take it off the whole thing. Sorry. Take that snap ring off. Take this belt loose. I did replace this once before. Okay. Alright, so finally got it a little bit walked off. You need a set of right angle snap ring pliers. But now that I got it a little popped off here, if I can try to get it the rest of the way. With a screwdriver. Yep, it's coming. Oh, sorry. I think I got it. That's the weirdest design snap ring I've ever seen. Now, what I did was I kind of got a screwdriver in and I kind of kicked it around on all these notches until I got it where I wanted it. But that should have been that right there. And then, hopefully, alright, this sucker might take a little bit of work to get off. Oh, focus. Yeah. Yeah, ixnay on that just sliding off, so we'll have to, well, I might as well, I'll unplug it from the top. I think it'll be easier. But, okay, back to more. And just like that, you can see how plans can go from bad to really bad. So in removing this,
said don't do it hot. I waited till it was a little cold, and I couldn't remove it just by hand, so got behind it with a little bar that moved. And then once it moved so far, I kind of got on it and started tapping on it with a hammer. You can see my strike marks. Well, actually with a punch and a hammer. When it came off, I was real excited until I saw this. And I was like, what's that? Then I realized that's where the snap ring was. So I broke the shaft off the end of the pump. So we're going to take this back, and this just became a story on how to change your air conditioning pump. Clutch and all. Alright, deep breaths, and let's move on from here. Alright, so we're back with our new compressor. And our old compressor. Now there's 2 bolts, one each there and there to hold the lines. We had the system drained by my most reputable, non-reputable friend, because you know it's like 8 o'clock at night, and he felt like 20 bucks would be really quick. But anyway, take that bolt out, then we'll take on this bolt, and then there should be 2 more below. That whole sucker should just fall right off. So, yeehaw. Alright, and if you wiggle it and shake it and get it out just the right way, it'll come out. Now, I ain't gonna lie, those bottom bolts sucked. I mean, they sucked bad. I was able to get one with a 15mm ratchet wrench, and the other one I had a flex head 3/8 drive with an what do you call it, a deep well socket, and I was able to get it out. But I highly recommend you don't actually take them out. Well, one you can't take out. The other one, just leave it in. And then if you take it and you pick it up and you kind of rotate it the back end first so the nose was facing in, and kind of roll it up out, it'll come right out this fender well. That's the good news. The bad news is I gotta get the new one back in. So anyway, what we're gonna do is, like I said, whenever it was in the truck, I couldn't actually, I think it was this bolt, couldn't actually pull it out. So we're going to take all the bolts, we're going to transfer them to the new pump, and see if we can wiggle it back in there. And hook up our hoses, and I think we'll clean up and be done for tonight, because can't get any Freon till tomorrow, and I don't want to put it all the way back together to find out we have a leak. Okay, rocking on. Here we go. Wait, that's the boss garage. Okay, that's my shop. Alright, it's confession time. I did end up taking one of the heater core hose, or the water pump hoses off. I just, with the compressor on there, I couldn't fit it on. If I had to do it over again, I'd probably take them both off. I only took the one off for now, and I did that mostly because, well, I could get to it quick, and I didn't think I needed much room. But I got the belt back on, got the wire back in, hoping that wire moves out of the way a little bit. But oops. Sorry. But anyway, I'll confess, I already tried it because I couldn't find my camera at first. But I got my handy dandy power probe. If you listen real carefully, you might hear. Alright, shh. You can hear it moving. So that means it's working. Alright. Unfortunately, I got nowhere to buy any Freon pump or hooking anything up today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this, I'm going to hook everything else back on, put these hoses back on, that hose back on, clean up a little, I had a little Valdez thing going on. When I took that hose off, I actually did put a drip pan out, but I forgot that it was going to squirt out at yours truly, and guess where my face was. So let that be a lesson. Always wear your safety glasses in the shop. Don't ask me if I was, because I don't want to lie to you. But anyway, put those hoses all back on, clean up and get a shower, call it a night. Tomorrow morning we will pick up with pulling a vacuum on the system and recharging, and put some antifreeze in it, and see if my air conditioner actually works again. And we'll probably pick up some more of these stupid things, because, you know, reasons. Alright, out. Alright, after a quick stop at our local auto parts box store and our local Chinese tool import store, we're pulling a vacuum now. It's been running for a little bit. Showing, they say 28. I'd say that's pretty close to 28 pounds of vacuum on the system. I said to let it run for 10 minutes. I got a stopwatch going. And while that's going on, I'm going to refill the coolant system that I drained partially and wore half of. But we'll see. We'll see about adding refrigerant. Got my wife's handy dandy kitchen scale, so we should be able to do this fairly easily. But I hated to buy. They sell a cheaper one for like 20 bucks. That's the one I was gonna get. Then there's a more expensive one, but they were completely sold out. And I said, well, if you drive from the next store over, it's an hour away, you can get the cheapy one. But sometimes it's time versus money. It seems to be holding. After a little while, we'll cut the pump off, shut the valves, and see if it holds. We'll let it go for maybe an hour. In the meantime, I'll do other stuff. Okay, I'll probably log back in whenever we get to the hour mark. Alright. Alright, we're coming up. Nope. Real close on that 10-minute mark. We've been holding steady for a while on the vacuum side. So what I'm going to do now is stop my timer. Shut the valve. And then where's the switch at? Then come back in an hour and see if it's moved at all. So just under 30 pounds. It should not move. Is it moving? Oh, maybe it's just the angle of the camera. Well, I'll let you know in an hour if it moved. So, I am not above admitting I made a mistake, and I did make a mistake. This that I thought was a valve is actually just to reattach that hose up here because I'm a moron. After you're done pulling your vacuum, you need to close these hoses or else it pulls back through here, back through your pump. So I thought I had a leak for a few minutes. Went back. I'm gonna confess, just like you, I watch YouTube videos sometimes to say, hey, did I do something wrong or whatnot. Chris Fix has an excellent video on recharging your AC system. I'm not going to go into it as deep as he does, but I did use his video to find out. Once you're done with your 10 minutes, you need to shut these valves. But this isn't even a valve. I'm a moron. Alright, but I'm not above admitting when I was wrong, and I don't want to show you guys how to do stuff wrong, so here it is. We're going to go another 10 minutes and then do this all over again. Bye. So while this is running, I do have a question. If anybody can comment below how this works. But you have your high pressure side and your low pressure side. How are they connected to the same steel line? It's always my understanding that the high pressure and the low pressure side were on one side or the other of the condenser and the evaporator. But it appears in a GM vehicle somehow they managed to put both in the same line. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some part of air conditioning that I don't understand. I am 608, 609 certified, although I will admit it's been years since I actually went through the school and took my tests. Actually, I really don't think I could find my cards anymore if I tried. But I was really curious about, that. So, if anybody can answer that question, thank you. Alright, we're over 10 minutes. I got distracted, but now we're gonna... So we're pulling right about 26, 27, 28 inches of mercury. I'll close this. Make sure this one's closed. Nice and snug. Kill this guy. And now I'll see you in an hour. And here we go. Wait, that's deboss. Alright. Well, it's not been quite an hour. But I think if this gauge was going to move, it done would have happened by now. So, let's put some Freon in this puppy and see what we get. Put that fender well back in. Put the jack back down. Top off my antifreeze. Clean up some of this mess. Put that thing away. You know, get her all done. Finish it up. Alright, bye. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but it says 96 outside. This is my big road trip I've been saving up. I'm not going to let you know where exactly I'm going, but we're about an hour into it. And it's quite comfortable in here. Everything's moving along smoothly, cruising down the turnpike. I didn't get much filmed of actually charging the AC system, and I'll be honest with you, that's about the moment when the wheels came off. I highly recommend Chris Fix's video if you want to see how to charge an AC system. There was a lot of stuff. I never charged one without a Robin Air, which is the professional system. And, you know, lo and behold, I was doing it from my garage in preparation for this trip. It was Saturday evening. The wheels fell off, stuff broke. I didn't have the right equipment for some of it. I couldn't recharge through my AC hose like I thought so because I didn't have an attachment. So I ran out and I bought what I thought was the attachment. It turns out that attachment wasn't the attachment either. So all the cans I hooked up, I'm sorry to the EPA, but they made it out into the atmosphere. And finally I bought one of those you charge it cans. I kept jumping the compressor to get the compressor to spin because I thought you needed that to get the Freon to flow in, and it turns out I was completely wrong. I needed to let everything enter the system and let the system figure it out. By me overriding it with my Power Pro to make the compressor spin was not the right way. Like, it's not going to spin when you first start it up and first put Freon in, and then it's going to click on and off. And then it wasn't until it started to get a charge that it stayed running, and that's about where I clicked it off. I took pictures of my gauges before I drained it, and I do recommend that because I was able to leave the high pressure side on, and I used that to determine when I was getting close. And what it was I thought I was doing something wrong. I thought everything was going wrong, but what I actually needed to do was just sit back and let things happen. So, like a lot of automotive projects, there's, you know,
a lot of ups and downs with it. There's a lot of emotion going to it. I was on a tight timeline. I didn't want to do a 5-hour road trip south in 90-some degree heat without air conditioning. That would have been incredibly uncomfortable. And I'm getting older, and I find that, you know, I don't mind having air conditioning. I used to not worry about it. Most of my vehicles didn't have it. But it seems that I might be a little light on my charge. I never got it quite to the right pressure, but it's functioning. It's keeping me comfortable. I may try to charge it a little bit more when I get home. I got on Amazon and ordered everything that I was supposed to have that I didn't have. And it seems like right now the air conditioning kind of goes through a cycle where it blows really cold, and then it blows kind of cool, and then it blows really cold. So it never stops cooling, but maybe it's not completely up to snuff, but it's just fine tuning. But yeah, this is going to be a video mostly about changing the compressor. If you want to know how to... What are you doing, buddy? Alright, I'm going around this guy. It's illegal in Pennsylvania, pass on the right, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal to... Well, now he speeds up. Now he's braking. I don't know. Anyway. We'll call this off as a project done. The compressor works, clutch works. It was just a very difficult road to get here. Yeah, see, now it's blowing kind of cool again. And now they're speeding up again. I hate people. Yeah, now we're braking again. Alright, I'm gonna get off here before I throw my camera at this car. Bye.